Well, hello everyone. Thank you so very much for joining me for this week's reflection. I'm Susan Short. I have the good fortune of serving as the Director of Music Ministry at College Lutheran Church in Salem, Virginia. So what we're going to do is to take a moment today to learn more about one of the communion hymns that we'll be singing together during this coming Sunday's drive-in worship service. And I hope you remember that we continue to gather outdoors starting at 9 a.m., and I hope you're making plans to join us. So this week's hymn reflection is on the hymn, "If You But Trust in God to Guide You." And you can find this in our Lutheran Book of Worship, and it's number 453. So the text and the tune are provided to us, were written by George Newmark, and he was born in 1621 and lived to 1681. So the reference that he uses from the Bible, the scripture that he uses in order to frame the text for this hymn, comes from Psalm 55, Psalm 56, and Proverbs chapter 3. So George Newmark lived during the time of the 30 Years' War, when social and economic conditions were deplorable. He had many personal trials. On his way to study at a university, traveling in the comparative safety of a group of merchants, he was robbed of nearly all of his worldly possessions. During the next 2 years, he spent much of his time looking for employment. He finally secured a tutoring position. When he had saved enough money, he returned to the University of Königsberg and studied there for 5 years. And again, in Königsberg, he again lost all of his belongings, this time to a fire. Despite his personal suffering, Newmark wrote many hymns in which he expressed his absolute trust in God. Newmark wrote 34 hymns, of which "If You But Trust in God to Guide You" has become a classic. Newmark wrote the text to this hymn at age 20, just after he had finally been able to find employment as a tutor for a judge. Newmark was so relieved and grateful to God by his change in his circumstance that he wrote the text saying, "This good fortune which came so suddenly and, as it were, from heaven, so rejoiced my heart that I wrote my hymn to the glory of my God on that first day." So the hymn is written, it was written in Germany in 1641, and the text had the following heading: "A hymn of consolation, that God will care for and preserve his own in his own time, after the saying, 'Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee.'" Psalm 55. A classic German chorale, this fine text focuses on trusting God's care in all of life's circumstances, both prosperous and evil days. As Christians, we are counseled to be confident, to have patience, and to be faithful in service. So this hymn, in a liturgical context, is used in many occasions in Christian worship when profound trust and hope in God's providence and faithfulness needs to be affirmed, as only a song can express it. So that's the story behind this hymn and composer. And please be certain that you take a moment to click on the link in this reflection to listen to a recording of this magnificent hymn, and it's performed by the National Lutheran Choir. The National Lutheran Choir is based in Twin Cities of Minnesota. The 60-member choir is led by nationally known conductor, composer, and organist David Cheerwine. The National Lutheran Choir received a 2007 Margaret Hills Award for Choral Excellence from Chorus America and the 2007 Wittenberg Award from the Luther Institute. So that's the story behind this hymn. I do hope you take time to listen to the recording that's provided in today's reflection. And again, thank you for joining me. I look forward to worshiping with you on Sunday as we sing together one of the communion hymns, "If You But Trust in God to Guide You." Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.